As Louisville and other Kentucky municipalities slowly move to reopen, the fear is not just a second wave of COVID-19, but also economic recovery. And that was up for debate today at the Louisville Forum's monthly meeting. This time it was held virtually. Focus investigative reporter John Charlton was in the Zoom meeting to get expert perspective on the Derby City's future outlook.
The president of the Louisville Forum pointed out that the city has moved from an anticipated $19 million surplus to a $27 million deficit. That's a $46 million swing in the wrong direction. According to the nonpartisan public issues group, the mayor is also projecting a $93 million shortfall by fiscal year 2022. The meeting included expertise from a U of L economics professor, as well as from the city's economic development chief and Councilman Anthony Piagentini. The panel pointed out that Kentucky has the most unemployment claims in the country, partly because Governor Andy Beshear expanded benefits to people who would not usually qualify for them, such as independent contractors and restaurant workers. There was criticism by Dr. Paul Coombs that the Commonwealth's poor economic outlook was self-inflicted due to being overly cautious when the state realized that COVID-19 hasn't been as bad here as it has been elsewhere. However, he believes bankruptcy is not in Louisville's future because of the $134 million the city received from federal COVID-19 relief.
If this amendment passes this week, that would mean that they could use $30 million, $35 million of that program money for just revenue replacement.
Unfortunately, right now, it cannot be used for revenue replacement, so that's one of the things that we've asked for.
And Dr. Coombs says that although reopening will lead to more employment, creating more revenue, he thinks a recession is looming. For Focus, I'm John Charlton.
Congressman John Yarmer